camping is about reconnecting with nature. But what happens when the wilderness reveals something far more terrifying? From horrifying bear attacks to eerie, almost supernatural encounters, here are 30 times campers captured what no one was supposed to see. This clip starts with a man with his lonesome camping in the woods, and after a good night's sleep, he is suddenly awoken by a strange noise emanating from the outside of his tent. When he checks out the sound, he finds this. A huge bear is right outside of his tent, and within inches of a potential attack. This man gets scared and closes his tent after realizing the imminent danger that awaits him outside. The bear spots the man and goes near his tent, brushing it from the side. The man trapped in the tent tries to scare the bear away with a loud shout, and fortunately for him, it works. A group of friends camping in the deep woods enjoy their night, starting a campfire, cooking their favorite food, and sharing creepy stories. But their fun wood camping night turns into a nightmare when out of nowhere this happens.
Hey!
They hear an eerie sound coming from the woods, and it doesn't help that it's nighttime and that they can't see their surroundings very well. The group gets scared at the thought of what could be making the sound. The video ends with the group following their survival instincts, starting their vehicles and driving far away from the sound. A couple of hikers hike through a forest on the remote west coast of Vancouver Island, and after a few hours of a fun adventure, they happen to come across a footprint that is unexplainable and leaves them curious and startled. The man takes up his camera and goes closer to the footprint, debating with himself what animal or monster left such a huge print. He puts his hand in the hole to show us how big and deep it is.
Here, Wendy spotted this here. So this happened when it was dry or wet.
I'd hate to run into whatever thing left that huge footprint. Leave us your thoughts of what you think walked through these woods. One man decides to camp in his tent when night falls. After setting up his cam, he begins to sleep, hoping to get his energy refilled in the morning. But his well-needed rest gets interrupted when he awakes to these sounds. After getting scared awake, his anxiety shoots through the roof, instinctively zipping up the tent, thinking what to do if this sound is coming from a predator that is smart enough to know to tear the tent to get inside. The howls sound like they come from a wolf or a fox. Luckily, this man's tent wasn't invaded, surviving the night. A man sets up a tent near bushes, thinking that it would be an optimal spot for his safety as it blocks vision and paths from other creatures, not knowing what type of bush when one animal gets hungry and approaches. Bears love berry bushes. They are drawn to their sweet scent. Unfortunately for this man, he sets up his camp near one and encounters this huge bear pawing and eating the berries just a few feet away from him. Luckily, this man's tent was camouflaged, and this huge bear either didn't catch his scent or just didn't care about his presence. While hiking in the woods, one man stumbles across a creepy part of the woods where there are several pieces of paper on each one of the trees. But when we get closer, we find that those are posters of
2012, Noblesville, Indiana, right? Look at the fucking tape. Look at the water damage. These shits have been hanging up for a while.
missing people. The man is creeped out with the way the posters are put up, which are found neck deep in the woods. It's like a warning sign for people. He finds about 25 missing persons posters throughout the video.
Because right in front of me. One there and one there.
Imagine if this was you, seemingly on a normal hike, and you come across this creepy grave of missing person posters. In this next clip, one YouTuber who specializes in hiking videos finds barbed wire scattered around, a hassle to get through. But that's not all, for he is about to stumble onto something more creepy.
And look in, you realize it is deeper than any fire dam I have ever seen. There are no trespassing signs, there are no entry signs.
He stumbles upon a deep, dark hole in the ground. It has barbed wire near it, making us believe it could be a trap. And imagine if you were hiking in the dark, when you would notice the hole. It would be too late.
I mean, it's just a massive hole in the middle of the forest. Look at that, there's an overhang. Whoa.
The YouTuber emphasizes that if a person would ever trip and fall into this dark hole, they likely wouldn't be seen again. This YouTuber embarks on a journey to seek out a new adventure in the eerie but beautiful fog and rain. As he sets up his camp at night, he hears twigs breaking in the distance. Unsure if it's just branches falling, he begins to feel unsettled. After realizing that the sound he heard was from someone walking near his camp, following his instinct, he decides that it's best to just pack his belongings and leave the place, risking harm from reaching him. When this happens,
Alright, I'm gonna go, guys.
Hello?
he leaves the area after the encounter and reminds us once again to always follow our guts. When speaking about camping, most of the time you'd think of places of nature like the woods or beaches and the like. But in this clip, a Filipino vlogger and his friend group decide to camp in a broken battleship.
Sobrang dilim. Tapos medyo delikado dito dahil butas-butas dito.
During the day, they enjoy themselves by swimming in the ocean. But when night comes, they camp inside the broken down battleship for a full 24 hours. He shows us how dangerous camping here can be as it's rusty and filled with holes.
Yan, diretso din yan sa dagat. Pag nahulog ka dyan, diretso na yan sa dagat. Sobrang dilim doon. Yan ang i-explore ko mamaya. So mamaya, cha-challenge ko siguro 1-8.
The group camps the night in the battleship without harm and accidents. Would you ever camp inside one of these? In this clip, a solo camping YouTuber sets up his camp in the woods. It starts like a normal camping video, where he sets up his tent near a tree and talks about the camping gear he uses, until the moment when he hears this.
Below. See what I mean?
He hears crackling noises from the part of the woods that's adjacent to him, making him tense up and forcing him to prepare to either fight or run, because you are never alone when in the woods.
Squirrel, can you see it? Just through there. It's probably him making all that bloody noise.
Fortunately, he realizes that the creature making the snapping sounds is just a small animal, making his fear go away. In this video, a thrill seeker called Grizzly Gaz decides to explore and camp overnight in an abandoned and haunted cemetery. And he does this all by himself. He uses an application on his phone that detects this.
Do my ankle over up here in a haunted graveyard.
His phone detects supernatural humanoid-looking creatures amidst the darkness of the graveyard. Could this be the spirits of those buried here, or something else more sinister? He ventures deeper into the cemetery. Every step increases his fear of discovering the unknown.
Hello?
The video ends with him taking a break from the ghost hunt and beginning to cook food for himself and his dog. A man sets out in the woods to explore a logging road, but it is a little too far. So before he can arrive, it begins getting dark, forcing him to set up camp in the deep woods. And as he prepares his tent, he hears this. He gets unsettled by the creepy sound emanating just a few feet from where he is currently setting up his tent. And what's creepy is that the sound doesn't just stop. It continues to echo in the woods for minutes. Because it's already nighttime, the man braves up so he can continue setting up camp, ignoring the horrific sounds. In this next clip, one brave man camps in the night at a Philippine cemetery. If you didn't know, Philippine cemeteries hold an eerie aura, especially at night, and even the locals avoid lingering around them when it's dark. Philippine cemeteries are shrouded in folklore like the aswang, white ladies, and restless spirits that seek justice for their deaths. Some of the tombs are even open, as not much maintenance is done, allowing you to see the remains of the dead inside.
Dami ko naririnig pagkaganto pala.
But this man camps in the middle of the cemeteries, not fearing the ghostly apparitions and curses that haunt the graves. One man and his 2 dogs, who are avid campers after a previous encounter in one camp area where they heard footsteps approaching their tent, decide to return to that camp. And things turn out to be even stranger as the camera captures this.
Alright, how do I get out?
Out in the dark, the camera captures 2 white lights resembling eyes, and the man recording doesn't notice this as his back is turned. And while he is walking and talking to the camera, suddenly this happens.
How do I get out? See? That's what I talked about earlier. Orientation.
Fortunately for this man, his trustworthy dogs are around and are always there to help him when the need arises. In this next spine-chilling clip, 2 men head out to the UK's most haunted asylum to camp overnight and see if they can capture any of the paranormal activity that has been reported by the people who have previously camped there.
Wish me luck, I'll see you soon.
Rumors have spread about this location having apparitions and shadow figures walking on the old corridors and the cries of patients heard coming from the abandoned wards. Despite this knowledge, the 2 men film their exploration of the rotten and abandoned asylum. After witnessing the creepiness and eerie atmosphere of an abandoned, haunted asylum, would you ever dare try to explore one yourself? In this next clip, a group of friends in the Philippines get bored of camping in normal areas like the wilderness or near bodies of water, and this time, they decide to camp in a scarier place, hoping to come home with a good scary story.
Pero nawawala siya. Kanina pa naman hinahanap namin. Wala naman siya pupuntahan doon. Tingnan nyo naman yung ano namin, oh. Overnight.
The group decides to camp in the middle of the night at a cemetery, and as the man talks, you can see in the background the big wall of graves. I wonder how they can camp in a place like this, when it's possible that they could be watched by ghostly spirits that roam the cemeteries.
Creepy, di ba? Actually, napuntahan ko na to. Creepy. Putang ina, kinikilabutan ako.
Despite being in a creepy location, the group acts as if it's a normal area, laughing and enjoying each other's company. While camping in the woods, one man catches something in the corner of his eye. Unsure if it's just a stump or a weird tree, he takes his camera to zoom in and record, only to find out this.
Creeping me out. I lived here for going on 7 years. I walked 100 miles through the woods. Never seen
A dark, shadowy, creepy figure is seen amongst the trees. And while the man records it, it looks like it's staring right back at the camera, making the man feel uneasy throughout the clip. It appears to look like a demonic figure with horns.
times. It's weird.
Throughout the clip, the man does the right thing by keeping his distance from the figure, preserving his life from whatever that could be. A man and his companion decided to camp out in St. Patrick's Chapel in Heysham, England, which is also known to be an ancient burial ground that dates back to the 8th century. The two hope to capture any paranormal activity within the area.
He's talking, but there's nobody out there.
As he ventures deeper into the haunted forest, he gets out his spirit talker in order to capture the words of a potential spirit or ghost that wanders in the ancient burial site, and after a while, he records this. The video ends with him surviving the nighttime, with him and his buddy leaving unharmed, hoping that next time they can't finally catch a ghost. On a seemingly peaceful night, one man decides to bring his camping van into the woods, where he will camp and cook overnight. And while he explores the woods near his camp, he gets an eerie feeling like he's being watched.
It just feels bad. There's a bad feeling right now, like there's just something watching. I can't even tell from where exactly, and I hear little things from all directions.
After a while of exploring, he begins to cook his dinner and eats it until he's full. After a long day of driving and looking for a good camp spot, he gets sleepy and heads to his van for the night. And while he's asleep, this happens. This clip once again proves that when you're camping in the woods, humans are more terrifying than animals. While camping in Killbear Provincial Park in Ontario, Canada, a man in a small green tent is about to be woken up by a frightening sound. Put your volume on high so you can hear the sound coming from outside. The man films the side of the tent he hears rustling and growls from, clinging onto the camera with fear of getting invaded by whatever creature is currently lurking from outside of his tent. What could be the cause of this sound? Fortunately, the poster of this video mentioned that he wasn't harmed and that he got home safely. After being told that a specific cave is haunted, this brave adventurer took that as a challenge, and he decides to go there by himself to camp, unknowingly that this would be the scariest night of his life.
That gets really small and hectic. Okay. Alright, so
as he treks deeper into the cave, the passageway begins to turn slowly into a tunnel, making it harder for him to continue through the cave. So he takes a break to eat when he hears this.
oh my f***ing god. That was the sound.
There isn't much wind in the cave, making him believe that the sound came from something else, making his night full of fright. In this next creepy video, a man commits the mistake of coming near and sneaking into the Bohemian Grove, where he finds eerie statues of owls, making us wonder if the myths about the place are real.
What the f? No way.
The Bohemian Grove is an infamous place, where robed people gather to perform rituals that have sparked multiple conspiracies. As he ventures deeper, he stumbles into an open passageway carved into the inside of a tree that leads to a creepy-looking room with an electric circuit. It's fascinating to see the Bohemian Grove up close, but it's really risky to trespass into a place with such a horrifying reputation. In a remote location miles from the closest road, a man and his friend decide to camp in a Highland camp called Louis Built. This known ruin was once a bothy, and there are talks about zones with a ghostly aura to them.
I looked up and the curtains were closed. I think somebody probably came in.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was somebody else there, but who knows? Who knows? But anyway, I thought I'd tell you some other stories. I don't know if you got any ghost stories, Ray.
A bothy is an unlocked shelter found in remote areas of Scotland, Ireland, and northern England, and they are often used by hikers and travelers. The two explore the ruin, showing us what it looks like.
Look at the olive blinds, I don't know. You think there might have been dormer?
There used to be two dormer windows here. There's that one there and then the one there.
So,
Apart from a few creepy sounds in the night, the two slept fine, going about their normal morning routines. While walking in the woods, this man feels an awful presence. He feels like someone or something is watching him from behind. The man, unable to shake the eerie feeling, heads back only to find this. His suspicions validated. He is stuck between trying to get close so he can identify the stalking shadow, or trusting his instincts and run far away from the entity. But curiosity gets the better of him when he goes nearer, and this happens. The entity goes back behind the tree, and this quick action scares the man, making him bolt away in fear. While camping on a hill, it's expected to have some small winds, but unfortunately for this person, he doesn't check his weather app very often. He should have known that there was a storm approaching right at his campsite.
helvete! Fy fan! Jag gick in för att kolla tall på grejer inne. Men
The clip shows us the effects of strong winds when you're inside a tent. There is not much the man can do but hope that his tent won't fly away and take him with it. We hope this man properly fastened his tent into the ground.
oj, oj, oj. Alltså tältet dippar ner i backen. Eller det gör det.
Amidst the strong winds of the storm, I wouldn't be too shocked if this man didn't get any sleep that night. In this next clip, we are brought to the rainforest where two friends settle and camp for the night. They prepare their tent and eat food before deciding to sleep. And when they have finally slept, their CCTV camera captures a chilling scene from outside of their tent. Unbeknownst to the two who are unconscious, a white figure with a ghastly voice comes out from the woods. And coincidentally, the camera blurs. The creature looks like it is holding a decapitated head or something else. Fortunately for the two who are sleeping, they aren't harmed by the white figure. They will get the shock of their life when they wake up and review the tapes. While stealth camping in the woods, this man is about to get the fright of his life when in the distance he hears footsteps. And when the footsteps get louder, his fight or flight response kicks in when this happens.
Walking away now. What do you want? What do you want? I have a knife. Where's my knife?
He tries to get the attention of the mystery man who is walking too near to his tent. And during this, he can't see anything because it is pitch black. He gets scared, not knowing the person's intention. Then this happens.
Me! They're coming behind me. I don't know what they're doing. They could just be around. I don't know.
He runs away from the mysterious man, who after multiple attempts, fails to identify themselves. He came out of the encounter safe and unscathed. This video footage was taken in June 2001 by Jim Mills, the youth camp leader of Campus Life on their annual Marble Mountains backpacking trip. They unexpectedly captured a rare sighting of this creature.
Yeah.
No, it stopped and it's looking at us.
It's kind of looking at us.
I don't see it.
He gets the attention of his junior campers and also shows us the viewer, one of the clearest sightings of the infamous Bigfoot. The elusive creature is seen walking down the hill and staring back at the camera like it knows it is being filmed.
2 trees to the left of King's Castle. See King's Castle?
Yeah. He's shaking his fist at us.
He's right in between the
Several people can vouch for the man who took the video, saying that he is one of the most honest people ever. During an event, people lay down their tents out to have a place to rest, especially during events that last for days. But most of these people probably didn't read the part of the manual that states that you need to put a stake in their tents when this happens.
Alter.
A strong gust of wind takes all the unsecured tents and makes them fly away, all with the people's belongings still inside. The wind is so strong that it creates a tent knotto. After all, regret comes too late. This clip reminds us all that we should bolt down our tents even if the weather seems fine, unless we want this to happen to us. While solo camping at night in the deep woods, this man's peaceful night turns into terror when it turns out that he isn't alone. Across from his camp, a white light comes seeping from the individual trees. At first he films the light as a joke, but then this happens.
I'm trying to tell myself that, but I am really, oh my goodness me. I know.
Eventually he gets scared by the light that is slowly coming near his camp. What's funny to think about is if the other party was also scared of his light.
I'm literally crouched. I'm sat on the ground. Right, the camera off.
The scariest part of camping alone is when it turns out that you are sharing the woods with another stranger, not knowing their true intentions.